evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the return of the Shades Plays. Oh, I am so excited to be back and doing this again. I know it has been a long time since we've done this stream, but I'm back, bitches. Actually, hold that thought for a minute, because I got a button for that.
I'm back, bitches.
And I just realized I don't even have the soundboard set up on here. My God, I am off my game. Can tell it's been a while, my friends. It's been a while. Let me get that set up. Yeah, hush you, hush up, phone. Ah, there it is. There we go. Now I got the soundboard set up right. Anyway. And already I'm getting beeped to hell here. So yes, we are back. Shades Plays is back in game. More ways than one, I imagine. Take a minute to say hi, give everyone a chance to get in here and say hello. Sound off in chat. Who's here? I see Biohybrid in there. Who else is hiding out in there? I want to hear from you people. I want to know who. I want to see my adoring fan man. No, I'm kidding. But I do want to see who's there. Who's here to say hi. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's set some things up here. So, yes. We are getting ready for our first stream back. And there's a very specific reason I want to do this. There was one game that I really wanted to play for the Shades Plays, but honestly, I never thought I'd be able to play this game on this stream because it's been mostly a Nintendo franchise, and I really don't have a way to stream from most of my Nintendo consoles. I mean, I probably could set up my Wii U, maybe, but even then, the capture card I've been using for a while now has never really worked very well. I mean, if you've ever seen any of my attempts to stream PS4 or Wii U games on my capture card, it has gone poorly. That is probably going to be a future goal of mine to get an actual, a better capture device in the future. But a recent release has changed that. Because this particular game, since it is not a first-party title from Nintendo, has been released to multiple consoles, including PC via Steam. So as soon as this game was released, I said to myself I had to have it. Well, before the game even came out, our good buddy, Mildred the Monk, while we were talking during one of our Toonami calls, decided out of the blue to just pop on Steam and gifted me the game. Gifted me the pre-order. It is, and I just sat there dumbfounded for like a good 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I just sat there flabbergasted that I got this game now. But I have been waiting to play this for this very stream because this was something I've been wanting to do for years. I'm a big fan of this franchise. I'm a big fan of the humor and the entertainment and the mystery that this game has always provided. And I want to show that to you guys. Hey there, game fan. But what game are we talking about here? Well, I just have one word for you. If you even think. No, it was during a Toonami call. I remember exactly when it happened, Bio. Do not try to fuck with me on that. I remember it was during. I had talked about it a little bit before then, but he gifted it to me during my Toonami call. I know when he gave it to me. Don't challenge me on that, fucker. You know better. But as for what game this is, well, if you're thinking of walking away after you find out, I just have one word for you folks, my friends. Objection! That's right! Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I love this franchise. I truly do. I'm gonna turn the music down there a little bit. I love this franchise. If you have not played the Ace Attorney franchise, you are truly missing out. It is an amazing franchise with so many great games, and very few of them are outright bad. Some of them aren't as good as others. There's been a lot of debate over which ones are good and which ones are bad, but there are no outright terrible games in the Ace Attorney franchise. In fact, that music alone should tell you something. But yeah, if you heard that music that I had playing there for a minute ago, that was from the anime, actually. But you will understand why I played that later. Also, hello there, Blue the Shoe. I don't think I've seen you around.
No, never heard of
Anyway. Anyway. So let me get the actual music here up. Oh, that's loud. And just listen, actually, just listen. Oh, Master Rider Blue. Okay, hey, good to have you here, buddy. But yeah, just listen to that music. Oh, just beautiful. Capcom, if there's one thing Capcom is good at, it's their music. Now, I've played these games. I've played the first 3 Ace Attorney games on my own in the past when they were released on the Nintendo DS. But a little history for you, these games actually did not originally release on the Nintendo DS in Japan. They were actually released on the Game Boy Advance, but were ported to the DS when they came to the States. The games that will be featured in this trilogy. Now, I have not played the 2 games that were not released in Japan. I know as Game Fan points out, I know they've been fan translated. Ace Attorney Investigations 2 and The Great Ace Attorney, or Daigakutan Saiban. I know those have been fan translated. I have not had a chance to play them yet, but I wouldn't mind doing so. But I gotta be very careful. Last time I tried to download a game on the 3DS when I had no other choice, Nintendo came down to my ass hard. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. But I think we've dilly-dallied long enough. We're gonna get into now. How we're gonna do this is I'm gonna try, stress try, to do 1 case per stream. Some of the later cases can get long. We may have to double up. We may have to split those. But I guarantee you this first case will be done tonight because it is really easy to do. There's not as much that needs to be done. It all takes place in one moment, so we can get this done relatively quickly. So we're gonna have some fun with this. Let's get started. You can see we got all 3 games: Phoenix Wright, Justice for All, and Trials and Tribulations. Very cool stuff that they got all 3 of these games in here. Oh, and look, that looks beautiful. The cover art there for our first trial, the First Turnabout. This is going to be our introduction into the Ace Attorney franchise. Give you a very nice ease into it. So let's have some fun. Of course, these are remastered with new artwork and everything like that. Oh, hey, achievement. And we start off with a murder. Damn it! Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I can find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Hello, nurse. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew, glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. This says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. Favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kinda owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Wow, such a cheerful guy. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, oh! I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell him I'm guilty. Give me that sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. I can't live without a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Aw, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspaper say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a very simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself into trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anybody, and he's a good guy at heart. And I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. And thus, we begin. Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope that you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Handshaking, eyesight, fading. Test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Well, obviously, that's Larry Butt. Defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No. Oh, wait. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course, I know the victim's name. I just forgot temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab to check it any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? Just double check. Go to the profiles. And there you go. Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... Well, again, if you check the court record... Actually, you can check the autopsy report. Cause of death due to loss of blood due to blunt trauma. So, hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first, Question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was?
The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim.
I see. The court accepts it into evidence. And of course, there we go. Yeah, absolutely, Bio. The graphics look amazing. Like, it keeps the feel of the original while touching it up to make it look better on a wider screen. Like, trying to use digitized sprites would have looked terrible, honestly, on this kind of screen, so I think it's good that they redid the artwork. But they didn't go so far as to make it a full, like, make it look like the 3D games. They kind of just did retouch the originals, which I think works really good, especially with the animations. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check the court record frequently.
Prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand.
Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad.
Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you?
Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Anthony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumb. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyway?
Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder.
What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it lies! I don't believe a word of it!
Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died.
Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder.
Dude, no way! The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears she had several sugar daddies.
Daddies? Sugar?
Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took that money and used it to support her lifestyle.
Dude!
We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now?
Right? I don't think he wanted to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and step in on this one. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog? I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we?
I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone.
That's quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good.
Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not?
Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? I hate to say it, we kind of had to let him answer this one because this one's a little more relevant. I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Hold up. Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her.
Your Honor, the defendant is lying.
Lying?
The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying.
Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness?
The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is bad.
On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Solid to the stand. Mr. Solid, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct?
Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Solid, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Now our first testimony.
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there.
Why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working?
Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout?
Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawt used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal.
Now, Mr. Wright?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
You may begin your cross-examination.
Cross-examination, Your Honor. All right, Wright. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record yeah. Wait a minute. 1 p.m. Yeah, I got a problem with that. Objection! You found the body at 1 p.m. You sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Oh, that, This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawt, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, right? Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Just point out the contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait! I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again? You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a tape program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Oh, wow, just running into a wall on that one. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a tape program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Exactly, Monk. You know fucked up now. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. As do I. And thank you, Mr. Payne. You provided me the exact evidence I need to fuck this guy. Probably coming from the television. Yeah, about that. Objection! Hold it right there! Prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Ah! Well... Fence has a point. You have an explanation for this, Mr. Sot? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sot, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been a shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sauce. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. Oh, game fan, get used to it. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the name puns in this franchise. Table clock, huh? The murder weapon. Well, yeah, once again, problem with that. 'Cause here's the murder weapon. Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? Ah! You with your objections and your evidence. Who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sot. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hands. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he... You're lying! You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder! Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there! I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with a clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sot, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with a clock?
That day, I never. Look, the clock. I heard, no, I mean, I saw.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Shut up. I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her and he should burn. Burn! Give him death!
Order! Order in the court, I say!
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound of the witness heard came from the clock. You have every evidence. All cases riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Saw heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply, well, let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That is certainly a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now?
It's 11:25. Ah!
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between Mr. Sawheard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawt, try to talk your way out of this one.
You forgot one thing.
Uh-oh. What's he talking about now?
While it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing.
How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I gonna prove that? Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Saw.
I come all the way down here to testify. Look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal!
You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Not so fast, Mr. Sod.
Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? As a matter of fact, I can. Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, Wright. Find it and let him have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support his claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words! Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock is running slow. Remember where Cindy was before this murder happened, ladies and gentlemen? She was in Paris. We're bringing time zones into this shit. Take that! The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast! The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? And down! Order! Order, I say! Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness?
He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. And with that, this court is adjourned. Turns out that Frank Saw It was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Saw It let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Saw It grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. Whew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over! Larry! You're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Oh, Nick! Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no! I mean, bad! Bad, bad, bad! Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Winnie's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was a... never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. Oh, no, I couldn't. Man, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Wow, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right! The heck is she talking about? Simple. The very thing that solved this case. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. Glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? So my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." And I'm pretty sure he's not gonna pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. My promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. And there you go. The first turnabout is done. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there because I get the feeling it's gonna accidentally start up the next case and I don't want to risk that yet. But that is the first case in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the original Ace Attorney game. Woo-wee! So, question to the chat. So I've got 10 viewers. I'm very happy about that. Nice way to start things off. Who here has this as their first experience of the Ace Attorney franchise? I know some of you guys have played this before, some of you have seen this stuff. Who here has never seen this before? I want to get some opinions on it. I want to hear from you guys. And meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and cut over to here. Come on, Chad, don't be shy. Yeah, I get the feeling that is the case. I get the feeling nobody else here, everyone else has played this before. But hey, you know what? That's good. Ah, fair enough, Betaflex. Also, don't think I recognize you either. Nice. Yeah, this for my first time using the HD trilogy, I got to say right off the bat, I am loving it. Cure, actually, the anime does count because the anime is pretty much an adaptation of the games. I mean, it's slightly changed, obviously, but it's pretty much, the stories are pretty much note for note. So you're really not getting any much different of an experience on that. But as someone yeah, I saw that episode actually, but I saw Legal Eagle's video on that. To be fair, he even admitted that he doesn't really know how the legal system in this franchise works as compared to Japanese and American legal systems, which are very different in many ways. So who knows? But for my first experience trying out the HD trilogy, I gotta say right off the bat, I am loving it. I think it captures the spirit of the Ace Attorney franchise without going too much into full-on remake territory or remaster. It's a good remaster, I think is the best way I could put this. It doesn't go too crazy into the remastering. The key music is just ripped right from the games. The music is unchanged. The graphics, they just changed the sprites to be more actual artwork, but keeping all the animations and all the silliness. It's all right, Pugsley. We got a couple minutes. We finished the game for the night, but we're chatting for a little bit. But I think the artwork, it feels just like the characters. It feels like if they literally just ported the game over and just touched up what they needed to. Like if you were to actually make the game for the PC instead of for the DS or GBA, if you want to be clear. But everything plays the same. It's very easy to control, just simple button presses. I think the only complaint I'd have is they probably could have made the button layouts a little more simpler. Using tab to open the court record is fine, but I think just having some little buttons in the corners probably would have been a lot easier to do. But other than that, though, everything else is pretty simple. It's easy to just hit a button, set this up. And yes, I'm not done yet. This is just the opening night. I plan on doing, as long as there is interest for this game, which, given we've got up to 12 viewers already on my first night, I'm pretty much calling it now. I'm not quitting this anytime soon. So if you guys are still interested in this, I will definitely be doing this again next week, continuing with the second case, Turnabout Sisters. So if you guys want to watch this, come join me next Monday. That one's going to be a little bit longer because there's going to be a lot more going on. This was a smaller case to kind of get you interested and get you hooked into the humor and the fun dialogue that goes on. But next week, we're going to be really diving into the gameplay. We're going to be doing more investigative work. We're going to have a lot more trials. It's not going to be all contained in one little package. We're going to get the full experience next week. So it's going to be a lot longer of a stream, giving you guys more of a chance to join me for that. It'll probably be close to 2 hours. It'll probably be a lot closer to 2 hours because, like I said, we're going to have several trials as well as investigation work where we're going to actually be going out into the field looking for evidence. So do not be surprised if this one drags out a little longer. But this was just to give you guys a taste of what is, as Shang Tsung put it in the first Mortal Kombat movie, and now for a taste of things to come. If Cure Crystal, if the interest holds out long enough, I want to do all 3 games. Because, good God, you know, the second game can be a little bit of a struggle, but when we get to that third game, oh, good God, it's that going to be exciting. The third game is going to be a blast, because that's when shit really gets real. The Albot kind of started, yeah, we're kind of in the closing out. You missed the actual game tonight, but the VOD will be up. I will definitely be uploading this to YouTube for those who missed the VOD, who missed it. Yes, Game Fan, the HD collection does have Rising from the Ashes, the 5th bonus case from the Nintendo DS version of the original Ace Attorney. That is in here. So I will be doing a total, if all goes according to plan, if the interest holds out long enough, we will be looking at 15 different cases, 5 from each game. Though I will say, when we do get to Rising from the Ashes, that one's probably going to be a 2-parter because I know that case is notoriously long. But I want to get to the third game because the revelations and the story of that game is just so gripping. And you're going to love the main prosecutor for that game. We haven't even met the main prosecutor for this game yet. Oh, God. That's going to be fun to voice. And yeah, Sakura Coop, the third game is definitely delicious. Delicious like a nice cup of coffee. Props to anyone who got that one. Ah! Oh, that's going to be fun. But yes, already I am so looking forward to playing more of this. I've been, like, when this was announced, I got hooked. Thank you, Meldra. What blend is it? I have to look up his blend list again, double check which one it is, but we'll see. But like when this game first came, when this trilogy announcement was made, when I realized it was coming out soon, I got onto a Phoenix Wright kick. I've been watching videos after videos. There's a lot of YouTubers who have dove like immensely deep into the franchise. Guys like Wombu, Turnabout Robin, and a couple other guys. Some great videos really outlining the best and the worst of the series. So if you want to look up that kind of stuff, by all means, be my guest. You won't be missing out. But anyway, I need to go watch Nintendo Capri Sun's videos on that. I'm not one for Let's Plays usually, especially. This is the kind of game that, while yes, I know I'm going to be kind of a hypocrite by saying this because I'm doing a Let's Play of this. This is the kind of game you really have to you have to play for yourself and really get the experience. But then again, you know, really, it's just a visual novel. At the end of the day, that's what this is. This is just a much more interactive visual novel. Because you're just going through dialogue boxes and selecting buttons and clicking on things. It's a point-and-click visual novel, really. So this is the kind of game that if you don't really want to actually play yourself, you can sit back and just watch the fun. And it's really what you're doing anyway. But there's a lot of the challenge comes from trying to solve the case as you go. Now, I already know most of these cases. So you're probably going to be seeing me get most of it pretty clear, pretty easily. I'm not going to have as much trouble with it as some people, but it's still going to be something that you guys wouldn't want to see. And there's some funny dialogue options in some of these games that I might just tap into just for some fun. Oh yeah, completionist. Yep, I see that review as well. Yeah, some of the later cases really get your brain motivated. Again, I know most of these because I played them quite a few times and I've seen several videos on them. So I know most of these pretty much off the back of my hand. So this is for you guys. This is just going to be basically watching the show. Watching me, you know, this isn't going to be me trying to get my ass kicked because I can't. I can't get my ass kicked in this game. But this will be me showing you what it is and enjoying the fun and seeing all the humor and stuff like that. So don't expect me to lose too often on this one. Unless I completely blank on something, but more often than not, I'm going to probably get most of this pretty much on the first try. Because this isn't a challenging game. This is not a hard game. It's just one that really gets you thinking. You have to really think about what evidence is, what to present, what to press, what to contradict, what to call out, everything like that. What choices you make a difference. And sometimes the answer is not as obvious as you would think. Sometimes what seems like an impossible thing to answer is only because you have to really think about the evidence very closely. Sometimes it's blatantly obvious, but sometimes you really got to think about it. Which is what makes it so much fun, is that you actually have to use your gray matter a lot in this game. And you will see how that works. And I will do a more in-depth job of explaining certain things as we if we get to certain kinds of testimonies and we have to present certain types of evidence. I might explain to you a little bit about why I'm presenting that evidence, because that way you get an understanding of why I'm going to be doing that. Because sometimes you're going to be like, why did he use that? Oh. And of course, sometimes the animations just make it so killer, especially the epic breakdowns. Like you saw its breakdown here earlier. That is nothing. Wait until you see some of the epic breakdowns we're going to be getting to just in this first game alone. Not to mention some of the ones. Oh, when we get to the third game, there are some epic breakdowns. There are some epic breakdowns in the third game. Especially in that last case. Good God. Good God. Anyway. But for now, that is going to do it for me here tonight. There's really not much else I can do. Again, we're going to be doing at least one case a night. Maybe once, you know, maybe a couple others. Maybe some of them might be split up, but we're going to try to at least cover one case a week. So next week, we're going to be getting back. We're going to be back here to talk about the Turnabout Sisters, where right off the bat, the no fucking around button will officially be pressed. You saw that little line at Phoenix at the end, that promise that won't be kept. You will find out what that's about next week if you don't already know. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for joining me as always. Of course, make sure you subscribe to me over on my YouTube channel. Link should be down in the description below, so go check that out. I'm going to be getting back to Anime Takeover as soon as I can. I got to rearrange my back room a little bit, so I got to get my green screen back up. Once I do that, I will be back to doing Anime Takeover. And getting back to all the series we've been working on thus far. Of course, all of our other streams on RVTV. The schedule link does not work here. None of the commands work. I don't have my bot set up here, so don't bother. But you guys can go over to the RVT Twitch and pull those up there if you need to. Of course, and also subscribe to my Patreon. And big shout outs to a lot of my patrons. I mean, the fact that I've gotten as many patrons, Frozen Traveler and Star especially, my two biggest contributors right now. Thank you very much for your support, but also thank you to all the others who have donated as well. It's very awesome for you guys to get involved in that. Thank you guys so much. But with that said, make sure you guys give me a follow here on my channel. Subscribe if you can. Be much appreciated. I might see about adding some loyalty badges in here. I'll have to figure out what there's going to be. Maybe just like gold, silver, platinum, gold sunglasses. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for joining me as always here on The Shades Plays. I'm The Shades, and I'll see you guys next time. Rock on! Special thanks to my patrons like Voice and a Frozen Traveler. Subscribe today to make these streams even better.